Hello friends, Ben Ochart here, and thank you so much for tuning in. And I've had a change in the tank boss in this tank, and the result is actually very, very good. I'm very happy with it. So let's go ahead and talk about it in today's video, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's video, consider hitting that sub button and the notification bell and that thumbs up, and that will trigger the algorithm in YouTube and encourage YouTube to put the video in front of other fish keepers. So thank you so much in advance for that. So let's talk about what's going on in this tank. There's a new boss in this tank. And normally I would expect that boss to be one of the Nimbochromis, like that living stone-eye or that Venusus that you see right here. That would be my guess as to who would be in charge, only because Nimbochromis, like a Venusus or a living stone-eye, are traditionally pretty aggressive. But interestingly enough, these two have mellowed out. The next one that I would think would be a tank boss, or try to be a tank boss, would be something with an attitude like an OB, like the Skittles here. But he's a bit too small really to run the tank. A Johnson-eye is a little bit too docile to be a boss, but this one seems to be getting along fine. If you look at his fins, he's not really taking any damage. Beautiful fins on that fish. Love the vertical bars on the body. A bit different from another one in here that looks like him, which is the Autopharynx tetrastigma, hanging out near the top. There he is. Similar body shape, but very different coloration, and has no prominent bars. And this fish, interestingly enough, though traditionally a docile fish, is now running the tank. He's big and beefy, and I get it. And when the living stone-eye came back from being in prison in the 55 during that experiment, and while he was gone, I rearranged his territory. This was the territory that he was defending, these rocks and plants, and I rearranged it. So when he came back in, he was a bit confused, and he hasn't really gotten that complete blue color again that shows he's fired up. He's remained with his spots, which I think is actually prettier than that solid blue dress that they get into. Look at that gar. It's a Malawi gar. Look at the lips on that fish. Those lips are designed to get between rocks and pull out small fish. He is a true predator. This is a Protomelis, this tangerine tiger. Another beautiful fish. Orange with some red in the anal fin. All the fish you see in this tank are from my friend James over at the Cichlid Shack, the channel sponsor. Interestingly enough, this bicolor 500, a smaller peacock, is not being harassed. Look at the fins and how he's swimming around, pretty much unafraid. Kind of surprising. I haven't had a bicolor 500 really do that in a tank full of what you normally call predators. The Malawi trout is starting to get some nice color. They get very large, over 15 inches. Also, the eye biter is behaving, perhaps a potential future tank boss. They can get sizable, and this one seems pretty mellow, thank goodness. Bucochroma spectabilis. fish is commonly referred to as an insignis. Just a beautiful fish, going from blue to an orange belly. Insignis. Also, interestingly, a Lethrinops oculatus, look at his fins, is doing fine in this tank. So, the new boss, the Otopharynx tetrastigma, is doing a good job in that he's maintaining a tank or running the tank in a way that isn't resulting in fish being harassed or beaten up. So I kind of like him as a tank boss. I'm not sure how long it'll last, only because there are fish in here that are traditionally far more aggressive and are starting to put on a lot of size. This hawk is really a baby, just starting to color up. He'll get pretty big, and of course the Venusis and the living stoni will get very, very large and very beefy. So that is the update, and if you're fortunate enough to have a tank boss that is relatively peaceful, it's really kind of changes everything. Fingers crossed that it stays that way. Love the markings on this guy. Gwynny. Beautiful markings. I think I've shown you just about every fish in the tank. But my objective was really just to share with you that this tank, being run by an Otopharynx tetrastigma, has really calmed down. I'm going to be adding some more cichlids to this tank. They are currently in quarantine. I'll show them to you. You have a Taiwan reef right there, who seems to be the toughest fish in the tank. When I first got him, the one that was pushing everybody around was, as expected, the Fusco. This guy right here. But he's kind of backed off now, and this Taiwan reef is sort of calling the shots in their quarantine. There's a turquoise hap in there. The fish in the back there with the spot on the side is a placodon. A placodon. Very pretty fish, very pretty markings. An F1 Fusco. Beautiful markings. What is referred to as a turquoise hap. And a Taiwan reef. Beautiful example of a Taiwan reef. They are in the 55-gallon, which has a divider, because they are sharing it with my crazy phoenix, recovering from a foggy eye, and a Eureka red that hangs out near the top here. Usually hides behind the bubbles. You can't even see them. So, but that'll be their half of the tank until they get through their quarantine period. So those will be added, and hopefully they will not change what's going on, because what's going on in the 210 right now is very good. Very rare for me to have a group of cichlids that are not actively and violently chasing each other and showing signs of fin damage, battle scars. So I'm really enjoying this period. So I'm going to be watching it very closely when I add those 4 fish and make sure that none of them triggers something and upsets the balance that's been brought about with this new tank boss. So what do you think? Do you think it'll last, or do you think it's only temporary? Share your comments below, and we'll talk about this and a whole lot of other stuff on Saturday at the Cichlids and Coffee live stream. It starts at 11 a.m. Central, that's 9 Pacific, noon Eastern, and I hope to see you there. It's a great group of fish keepers. And for those of you who'd like to support the channel, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and to take it a step even further, consider becoming a member of the Garage Gang and a Patreon. Any support you provide, including just showing up, is very appreciated, my friends. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.